Welcome to Deep Thought. Breaking generational curses. Breaking generational curses. Now, you know what? Sometimes people talk about generational curse because they'll think something's running in the family and they think it's genetic. And it is a strong argument for epigenetics, or that's my word to trip over today. And, a lot of people believe in it, but, I think it's something else. And, on Deep Thought, we just put stuff out there. I think what it is just cultured behavior. When I say culture, not like the overall culture, but within a family. Like somebody might, like a very common one, abuse within a family. People will say, oh, this is a generational curse. Every generation has had this abuse. Is that genetic? Or is it just people keep continuing what they learned from the previous generation? Think about it. We think about stuff. Say you had a great grandparent that beat their child. Okay, the child grows up into an adult. This is normal behavior. Though it's twisted, it's normal. And when I say beat, I don't mean in terms of punishment, but just straight up abuse. But then that child grows up to beat their kids and their kids and their kids. And then somebody sees it and say, oh, that's a generational curse. But it's not in the genetics. It's in the behavior. It's like something I've seen a lot about people talking about high blood pressure within a family or other stuff, diabetes. And I've seen many memes and many people, especially who are into healthier eating and stuff, they'll say, no, it's not genetic. It's what people used to eating. People do what the previous generation did. I'll give you an example of it. You know how in some families, when they make a ham, they'll cut off the ends of the ham? And this is generally how the story went. They'll cut it off, and they've been doing it for generations. And, they'll think, oh, wow, this is something special. But they don't realize it just started, not because of anything special, but they had to cut off the ends of the ham in order to get it into the pot. It wasn't necessary. And see, that's an important thing to understand. That's an important thing to understand. When we have stuff runs in a family, is it just the behavior? Because think about it. When we're born, yes, we come into the world with certain personality and stuff. But then we raised within a family. They did stuff a certain way. And unless someone makes a conscious decision to change something, they'll keep doing it. So like in that abuse example, you might have somebody down that family line say, hold up, this ain't working anymore. I'm going to change stuff. Okay, first, I'm going to go get some therapy to deal with it. I'm going to consciously get in a situation where I'm not going to beat my children or, unnecessarily. If I punish them, I'm not going to lay my hand on them. Oh, that's break. It's not something that continues. Because then that child grows up, and then when if they have to punish their child, they'll have like a reasonable punishment, like, oh, hey, no school for, definitely school for a week. Hold up, yo. But no dessert for a week, or you can't go out. Then they'll come up and do the same thing, but they won't abuse the children. You see what I mean? It could be with the food. It could be with anything negative. Because we get used to stuff. It becomes part of our programming. Remember, I've talked before, you always have several forces that try to program us. They try. We do things a certain way because it's been enculturated within us to do things that way. It's been programmed within us to do things a certain way, and we can't help that. We can't help that, but we can consciously say, okay, we're going to do something different. See, the key to breaking a generational curse, whatever it is first be conscious of it. Do we know what's going on? Okay, this is what's happening. Okay, we're conscious of it now. Now what? Okay, now we're going to change something. We're going to do things differently. And it's going to take some work because it's been programmed within you. But that work can be like serious mental health counseling, a psychiatrist, a therapist. It could be a spiritual thing. Hey, don't, even though I don't promote any specific path, And even though there's some corruption in all systems, really, there's also good. Sometimes somebody changing their spiritual ways of change. See, that's the thing. It's something. In fact, I'm gonna talk about that next time. I'm gonna talk about behavior and spirituality in the next podcast, because it's a very major thing. It's a very major thing. So, but anyway, breaking that curse, first, recognize it. Recognize it. Sometimes you might have to talk to elders in the family, especially if it's something negative. There's a lot of older people, they done seen this before, but they didn't change it. Okay, this is how we can change it and stuff. Like, I'll tell you one that I kind of broke without even realizing. And I don't have any shame, because when I share this, I'm trying to help people. I'm the first person in my family in several generations who wasn't a parent at 19. And ironically, I could have been, but that's another story. But I was the first person. Going back several generations, somebody always had a child at 19. And I couldn't figure it out at first, because I'm not going to lie. Some family members thought something was wrong with me. They were like, "You don't have a child?" I'm like, "No, I'm not married." And yeah, there was some times it could have been one anyway. But like I said, that's another story. But I basically broke a curse right there. And, my oldest son, well, as far as I know, he doesn't have any children, or any girl pregnant. So, all right, so it's starting to break right there. And that's a very important thing. And honestly, with other family members, that thing is breaking up. But we were conscious of it. We did something different. So you first recognize it, start with that, and then consciously work to break it. If you got to change stuff up, you might have to change how you do things, change how you eat, change how you think about things and everything. But rest assured, it can be done. All right? So I want y'all to think about that, okay? And I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessing.